Good evening and welcome to Regent Hall's Midweek Online, a time where we can chat and catch up with each other over the past week, and also this evening have a time of worship together on this, the Wednesday of Holy Week. It doesn't seem possible that Easter is upon us already, and it's going to be a very different Easter for us this year, isn't it? Because we're not going to be able to do the things that we would normally do and share the times of worship that we would normally share together. But on Regent Hall's YouTube channel, we will be streaming services on Good Friday and also on Easter Sunday. And I invite you to come and join us so that we can still celebrate Easter and worship together virtually in those days. And although we haven't been able to meet together physically, it's been great to hear how people have been keeping in touch with each other and seeing all the different services that have been online, not only from the Salvation Army, but other churches too. In these days where we can't meet together physically, I've been involved in a lot of webcam meetings or conference calls where you see pictures of people on the screen. And doing that has led me to think about that TV programme that was on many years ago, which perhaps shows my age a little, but the TV programme called Through the Keyhole. And I can often sit there as I look in people's houses and hear Lloyd Grossman saying to David Frost, "Who lives in a house like this?" But it's Wednesday evening, and it could be that instead of watching this, there are people in houses all over the country settling down in front of their tellies with their supper to watch the soaps. A bit of downtime where we can watch the lives of others who always seem to have things so much harder than us, and helps us to realise that perhaps our lives aren't as bad as we think they are. Just for a moment, imagine you're sitting in front of the telly, that the television is on and the opening scene of a programme leads us into someone's house. Someone who is having friends around, obviously before the time of social distancing. The atmosphere is merry, the conversation is flowing, and suddenly someone unexpected enters the house. Questioning faces turn to see who it is that's broken in on this party, and they see an uninvited woman enter the house. Breathlessly, she drops to her knees in front of one of those gathers and pours a hugely expensive bottle of perfume all over his feet. Whatever's happening? People are looking at each other. Some are getting to their feet. Questions are being asked as the incredulity sets in. As the confusion and tension builds, so the scene cuts to another darkened screen. It's a dark alley, and two people are stood with their heads together. One man looks over his shoulder to make sure no one else is looking, and then there's a transaction. It's so dark you can't quite see what's changing hands, but then you realise it's money. Once the transaction is done, one man leaves the scene. As the other man looks up to watch him go, so... Well, maybe not. But the drama that unfolded in that first Holy Week isn't too different from what we've just pictured. We're going to have some verses of scripture now, and Major David Jackson is going to bring them to us from Mark's Gospel. And as he brings us those verses, then think about that scene that we've just thought about then. I hope that you'll join me again after David's brought us those verses, so that I can share with you a few thoughts to take with us into this Holy Week.